Okay, awesome. So I'm so excited to share a little bit with you guys about what's going on with Artbound, where we're at, ways to get involved, volunteer opportunities. So thanks, Chrissy, for setting this up. Hopefully it will just be this group that will benefit from what I'm going to share today, but whoever really watches this recording back, because we really are, in my opinion, creating a movement of ways for young professionals, or really what we call the creative class, anyone who is passionate about not only giving back, but about creativity and looking for a way to bridge their skills with giving back. And I think that's really what Artbound's all about. And we've been running now for 7 years or so, 7.5 years. So to give you a little bit of history of who we were 7.5 years ago, it was launched by 4 young professionals who did really well in their careers and were looking for a way to give back. And they had this idea that art can make a difference. And what they did was they partnered with a charity then known as Free the Children. Now they're called We. And they decided that they are not only going to support the charity, but they're going to create a unique project aimed at creativity. And that was creating a community center in the Masai Mara attached to the first ever all-girls high school. And it was an arts-based community center. That was its goal. And so I knew these guys through the charity circuit, and I ran into them just as I launched my event production company about 7 years ago. And I asked them, how are they planning on fundraising? And they said, through a big event, a big fundraiser. And that's how I came on board 7.5 years ago as the fundraiser producer. And it was our only way of making money. It was a very successful first year. We raised $150,000 at the event. Then we did it again another 3 years in a row, where we raised a total of $450,000 over those years to do not only what we did in Kenya, but something similar in India, in northern Rajasthan. So really successful 4 years, amazing fundraiser, so much fun. People loved it. It really was a celebration of art. But what happened was we were getting to the place of what's next? How do we expand? How do we take it to the next level? Where does it go from here? Because doing this one fundraiser every year, it was so much work. And, how do we essentially lower the amount of work, but raise more funds and make a bigger impact on the world? So at that time, the original founders were sort of stepping down from that role for various different reasons. And because I was the one running the fundraiser and sort of managing the budgets and all of that, I had another business that was going on, as you both know, that allowed me to step away from my event production company. I was able to, at that time, take on a much bigger leadership role and become director of Artbound. But I was also aware that I couldn't do that on my own, that I needed sort of a fresh team. And there was a gentleman named Reagan who was doing all the marketing for us, digital marketing for us, who I knew for many years. And he ended up coming on board and becoming my co-director. So he owns a digital agency. I'm in the social marketing world. And then our third partner, one of the original founders, is a woman named Amanda, who runs the PR agency here in Toronto. So we have sort of these 3 different areas that we're all experts in. And we applied to become a charity, an official charity. Up to then, we had been operating as a group of people raising funds for Free the Children. So we started the application process. We were approved exactly a year ago. So on April 1st, 2016, we got our official charitable status from CRA. We are a charitable foundation, meaning we don't operate on the ground outside of Canada. We actually work with charities who do the operations on the ground. So charities that we trust, charities that already have those connections in the different countries that we operate. So what we do is we come to them and we say, tell us how we can help art from an art activity perspective. How it's great that you're doing projects, water projects, alternative income, schools, education, all of that. We let them be the experts in that, and we talk about how we can integrate art and creativity into what they're currently doing. Because Artbound's mission is, we believe that art truly has the power to affect social change. And we want to cultivate love and connection around the globe, and that's what it's about. So on another level, we decided, okay, we're going to support more than one charity now. We currently support 5 charitable organizations. So I'll mention those to you. So we work with We, formerly known as Free the Children. We have an upcoming project with them in Haiti to create after-school programs for the schools that they're creating there, and build in a couple additional classrooms as well. We have a charity called Waves of Hope that operates in Nicaragua. We actually did a volunteer trip there last year. So part of our mandate is also to travel to the places, if we can, so that we can see our hard-earned dollars at work, sort of our donated dollars at work, and make the connection that way. So in Nicaragua, we did a similar project last year, after-school programs, dance, art, and music. We brought instruments and hired teachers and added a couple additional classrooms as well. War Child, we're working with War Child. This is obviously somewhere where we don't get to go to, but they work with war-torn areas around the world. So we have projects in Africa and in Syria and Afghanistan, and a few. What they do is they create safe spaces for women and children affected by war. And we're coming in and we are calling them creative safe spaces. So bringing in art supplies and bringing in any creative supplies to sort of make that experience, a more empowering experience, but also to continue to support the amazing work that War Child does on the ground, an amazing charity. Two more in Canada. So POV is a Toronto-based charity. We're giving grants to inner city youth to learn how to do video production. And Right to Play, in conjunction with Painted Turtle Arts Camp, Right to Play does sports-based initiatives for First Nations across Canada, and they are partnering with us to bring in art and dance and music, because as you know, sports and art are so combined in terms of what they trigger in your mind, right? That's sort of that meditative state, that creative state. So those are the 5. And the goal is as we continue to fund these projects, we will bring new projects on. But obviously, we brought in the amount we want to fundraise. We brought it up a significant amount. So how do you take that to the next level? How do you, fundraise on a much bigger level? So 2.5 years ago, my partner Reagan came to me with an idea for an online crowdsourcing platform called Creative Deeds. And this is really what I wanted to talk to you guys about, because all the time people would ask me, how do I get involved in Artbound? And in the past, my answer was, you can sit on the committee for our big fundraiser and sell tickets and bring in sponsors. That was the only way to be involved. So we were reducing these ultra creative types to, party ticket sellers, which is great. And we're so grateful for all the people who do that. But we really wanted to engage them in a new way. So enter Creative Deeds. We did a soft launch of it a year and a half ago. And we are, just so you know where we're at right now, we're actually at a rebrand moment. So Creative Deeds will be relaunching in the next month or so. We're having our big fundraiser happening end of September. So it's just in time for that. We'll be ready to go. But we've had some great deeds online. And what Creative Deeds is, essentially, it's an online crowdsourcing platform that helps the creative class create mini fundraising events and benefit of one of the causes that we represent. So the difference is, in the past, it was like any creative deed. You can make a piece of jewelry, you can do anything. And what we've learned is that what really works is small micro events that bring people together, that cultivate love, that cultivate creativity here on the ground in benefit of one of our global projects. And it's 100% flow through. So any dollar that you raise through your creative deed will go directly to the charity project that we represent. So we don't touch that money. So what we're doing is offering you a way, or anyone interested in Creative Deeds, a way to give back. We provide the marketing support, we bring the eyes to it, we do some social boosting, and we help in any way we can to make it a successful event. And so we've had things like yoga in the park. We have a comedy night at the Drake Hotel every month. We have a live band at the Gladstone Hotel. We've had flower making workshops. We've had birthday parties in benefit of Creative Deeds and Artbound, and just to give you the idea of the different kinds of experiences that you can create. It can look like a dinner party. It can look like, a bunch of friends doing dream boarding sessions, whatever it is. You are doing something that you would maybe not usually do, or maybe you would, and using that skill, that creative skill, to give back. And that's really what creative deeds are. We operate across many different categories. So obviously I told you about comedy and music, and obviously there's dance and there's art and there's so many creative categories. And our goal is to start locally here in Toronto, have this beautiful events calendar, how people can give back, and eventually take that global. And so that no matter what city you go on, you can see what creative deeds are operating, because it doesn't only feel good to create a deed, it feels amazing to partake in a deed and, use your time and your social, commitment, whatever your social activities are like, to actually give back and make a difference. So that's I did a lot of talking there, but that's what Creative Deeds is. We're really excited to relaunch it in a few weeks. Right now, we're in the process of creating deeds so that when we relaunch, and especially by the end of September, we have more and more deeds operating. Our vision is 1,000 deeds that raise $1,000 is our first $1 million. And you can imagine how many projects we can support across the globe because of that. Any questions? Because I'm so close to this that sometimes, you just can just talk right over it. But does that make sense?
So good. And, Jeanette, I've been sort of mulling this idea around with Anna for over a year now about how could I be involved and how could I utilize the network that I have and the passion for dance that I have and music to contribute back to Artbound, and then, in turn, one of the global projects that they're working with. And what's interesting after hearing that again, Dana, because I think I've heard you explain this a few times, and for whatever reason, I've had some blocks around like my participation in something, because I don't know why, other than I just really wanted to feel the connection and feel like that when I got connected, the flow would just, happen. And what's interesting is I, started chatting with you, Jeanette, just by seeing that you are obviously involved in the dance community. And then we, are also in this business together. And since having really connected with it, it's just showing up. People are showing up. Tina, who is going to be on this call, she is widely connected. Another client of mine, his wife is a costume designer for a number of dance studios in the GTA. So it's really just presenting itself. So what's exciting for me is that I know the time is now, other than I'm having a baby in 4 weeks or 5 weeks. But what a better way to bring this little bean into the world with this part of me that I've been trying to explore. And so what I wanted to share was that what I see my ability in doing is really bringing together people that are connected into the dance world specifically, and then partnering with you to create the deed. So, not just like, here's a platform, I hope you get involved. Really being the connector to, let's go for coffee and let's design a deed that makes you feel good, and then let's bring that back to Artbound and help get to that 1,000 for 1,000 per 1,000. I'm super full-hearted about it. It feels like that's just such a part of me that's been waiting to explore, and I'm grateful for this opportunity, Dana, and your explanation a third or fourth time to me. And I apologize it's taken me so long to kind of wrap my head around it, but I knew once I could wrap my head around it, it would just present itself with this kind of ease.
We've done a lot of work around it too, right? To make sure that it's that easy to explain.
Yeah.
Really glad that it's settling in, and I can't wait to see what you create. And I think you nailed it. It's not about going out and throwing an event that raises $150,000. I mean, that's wonderful, but knowing the kind of work that takes, it's actually about the smaller efforts coming together, what you're going to do with Jeanette, what you're going to do with everybody else at your meeting, just bringing minds together, getting creative, and doing small things that make a huge impact.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I'm so excited to see where it goes with you. I'm just proud to be working with you on it.
I love it. Yeah. So
I'm
Jeanette,
really excited too. I want to thank you for reaching out after you saw my post and you realized that I was in the dance field, and you reached out to me, and I was so excited about that. And I wanted to do something like this and get involved as well with Artbound for a while. Just seeing Dana's just everything that she's been doing with the program, with the charity. And I thought, wow, I want to do something as well, because I have a dance background, it's art, and it would be so great to partner up and do something. So this just all worked out beautifully. Really excited, yeah.
And is it clear to you, Jeanette, like what's available for us to, take from here and
Yeah, I have ideas now. So, I mean, we could definitely talk about that, but sounds great. Yeah, it's great.
You, the best part about where Creative Deeds is now is that because we're in a launch phase, is that we can actually support in like on a much bigger scale than we'd maybe be able to when there's thousands running on the site, right? So we want to know what's going on with you, what's working, what's not working, any hurdles you're coming up against, so that we can create tools for the future so that anybody could just come on and it's a turnkey system, right?
So is it best for us to get with the process best be effective if Jeanette and I meet, we come up with some ideas, we relay that back to you and your team, and then do we use the site to get it out to our networks? Is that how it works?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So the first step will be for you guys to come up with ideas. In the meantime, we're finishing the
site. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Like we have some of the top designers in Canada working on this. It's just a beautiful thing. So I can't wait to relaunch it. And the idea is to launch it with operating Deeds. So, you'll be able to take the link, put it on all your posts. We'll be doing boosting of our own posts. We'll be putting it on Artbound social media and Creative Deeds social media. And eventually a calendar as well, so that people can know what's going on. So yeah, first step, meet, discuss some ideas, get creative, and then connect with me in terms of the who, what, when, where, why of Deed. And we'll talk about how we get that launched with the site and how else we can support you.
Fabulous. And so Jeanette, Dana and I were just talking prior to this call about the timing, which is, really perfect. And what we want to maybe try and create is something before the Artbound fundraiser, right, Dan? Before September 28th, which I said is really good timing in the dance world, because dance sort of starts again in September, right? And so if there was something to kick off the dance year with, or even the summer, the schedule better than I do, but my commitment would be to try and get a small deed put in place and in the calendar and launched before the Artbound party.
That would be amazing. Okay. That would be amazing. And who knows, maybe there are ways to include you in that party depending on what the deed looks like. The thing about the party is that it's really a celebration of Creative Deeds. It's always been an amazingly creative fundraiser, but now we're really painting the vision of the talent that we have in the city, and we want people to come into that event and experience what art does, which is truly cultivate love and transforms people inside out. And we want people to leave that event feeling that way. So maybe there's ways to connect on the event as well, depending on what you're doing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So Jeanette, I'll send you a couple of dates that maybe you and I could grab a coffee together next week.
Yeah, for sure.
And we'll put our brains together. I think this is Tina. She just texted me to say that she had forgotten. But Tina, if you can hear me, we recorded it, honey. So I'm going to be able to
Hi,
send.
guys.
Hi.
I'm in bed, like under the weather. My daughter's not well either, so I just completely forgot. I didn't even have it in my calendar. So
no problem. We recorded it for you, so I'm going to send you the recording so you can listen to it, and then we'll connect again. And we're just wrapping up right now. So, but you'll be really excited to get the information.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, girl.
Have a good day.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye. And thanks, Jeanette. Thank you. I'm so excited.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'm really excited too. This is great.
Everybody is
Okay.
wonderful.
Thanks, Dan. And I'll connect with you after this call right now.
Yeah, do you want to just stay on here?
Yeah, we'll stay on here. I'll stop recording.